Hey guys, it's Jack here, and Axie Infinity has just released their ear cards. So I'm going to look over them and tell you what I think and what will be really strong and just my overall thoughts of the ear cards. So what's really cool about this though is that like before, in this current version of Axie Infinity, the ear cards just contribute to the stats. They don't actually have a card. So in Battles version 3, like in Origins, this is the first time they're actually going to have ear cards, which do specific things other than just affect the stats, which is really cool. So I'm excited to see all of these, especially since we've never had ear cards before. Because with all the other cards, we've kind of had a version of them, and sometimes they've been similar. But with the ear cards, these are completely new, which is really awesome. So let's go look at these ear cards. So Reptile is first, and we have Freezered. Randomly apply effect 4 times your team. Heal and apply 1 damage boost each time. So that's a healing card. Interesting card. Definitely want to look at that more. And then Small Frill. Apply 3 poison to all enemies and heal this Axie for 30 HP. Okay. That looks like actually a pretty good card. Pretty strong card. Which is cool. Swirl. Shuffle 3 Confused into your opponent's discard pile. Sidebarb. Apply 2 poison and bleed for 4 turns to a random enemy. Pagona. Apply Fragile for 4 turns. And Sidebarb and Pagona both have attacks 50 and 60 damage. And then this last one is Curved Spine with 60 shield. It costs 1 energy. And you target any ally. And next turn after the target is attacked, apply bleed to the attacker for 4 turns. There are a couple that look pretty strong here. I think Curved Spine could be good. Pagona, Sidebarb. But I'm actually really interested to see Small Frill in action. I think applying 3 poison to all enemies is really powerful, and you get to heal for 30 HP. It seems like a pretty good card to me. But yeah. Sidebarb also, I think, could be very powerful. But yeah, I definitely think Small Frill will be a card to look out for. Now, the Aquatics. So, number 1 is Nemo. Gain 1 energy if this Axie's HP is full. So, it's a 0-cost card. You gain 1 energy if this Axie's HP is full, and you heal 25 health. I don't know if you gain 1 energy if you heal. I wonder if you could also gain 1 energy if you heal, and that brings you up to full health. But not a bad card for a 0-cost card. Now, Tiny Fan. I have to say I love the Trident though. I love Tridents, and I think that's a super cool card. The design of it. But Nemo is pretty awesome as well. So Tiny Fan, you draw 1 card and you gain 3 damage boosts. Really, another pretty strong card for a 0-cost energy card, which I like. And then Gill, that costs 1 energy and it does 50 damage, and your team gains 1 bubble. I do not know what bubble is. It's kind of hard to comment on that, but it should be interesting to see. Now, Sea Slug. It's a 2-cost energy card, and 2-cost energy cards do seem to be a lot more common in Origins, with a couple, with me seeing a couple so far. Like in other cards, there have been quite a few 2-cost energy cards. Definitely more than right now, which is only 1. But Sea Slug cleanse 2 debuffs, gain 2 cleanser, plus you do 110 damage, this actually looks like a pretty powerful card. I don't know how I'd like to see it in action, but it looks pretty powerful. Just like other 2 energy cost cards, but I would say that it's maybe on the weaker side of the 2 energy cost cards. Then there's Inkling, 1 energy and it does 60 damage, and shuffle 1 Jinx into your opponent's discard pile. And then finally for the Aquatics, there's Bubble Maker, which is the 1 cost energy card, and you get 50 shield, and you target any ally, and the target gains 2 bubble. So another bubble thing, it'll be interesting to see what bubble is. But yeah, I definitely think that Tiny Fan will be really, really powerful here. Actually, both of the 0 energy cards, I'm actually really, really excited to see and use. I want to use them. But Tiny Fan does look pretty powerful. Now going over to Beast, we have Zen, which if initial, this actually meditates. I do not know what meditates is, but it looks pretty cool. Well, it sounds pretty cool. And you heal 65 damage, which sounds pretty, which is a big healing card compared to the other healing cards we've seen. But yeah, so it's this, you heal 65 and it costs 1 energy. Then right beside it is Puppy. Love the animation on this Puppy card. Now heal your team. If initial, remove 1 curse card from your deck. Pretty cool. Could be a powerful card. Yeah, so heal your team, I believe, for 25 each, which will be really strong. And then also you get to remove 1 curse card. Looks like an interesting card. Don't know if it's going to be the strongest, but it definitely looks pretty cool. And one more thing I'm going to say about Zen is I think it could be a really powerful card at the end of a game. Like if you're one-on-one with someone, you could heal yourself up, and meditate could also be very powerful. We'll just have to see. Now, Innocent Lamb, also a cute design, and it's a skill and banish card, and it costs 1 energy. So you select and add 1 copy of these Axie skills card to your hand and banish. Wait. Select and add 1 copy. Okay, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, that's an interesting card. Definitely gonna be interesting to see how it plays out in the meta. Now, for the next one, it's an attack card with 1 energy, 20 damage, and you randomly deal 3 hits, and you gain 1 rage per enemy hit. We don't know too much about rage yet, but that does look pretty cool. So you randomly deal 3 hits, so 60 damage in all, and you gain 1 rage. Depending on how powerful or how strong rage is, that could be a really powerful card. Now, Nutcracker. This is another Nutcracker card. All Nutcracker cards of this deck gain 6 damage this battle, okay? Then Nyan. A 1 cost energy card, it does 65 damage, and you deal 15 bonus damage against a bleeding enemy. So if you use Nyan, definitely want to have an ability or one of your Axies that can do bleeding to the opponent if you can't do it yourself. But yeah, looks like a cool card, Nyan. But I do think that Zen could be really powerful, and Nyan. I think those two could be really powerful, but I'm really excited to see what Meditate is, what Meditates is, and how Zen plays out. I think it could be a very powerful card. Okay, now Plant. So number 1, it's a skill card, and it's Clover. Summon 1 Clover. So it's a 1 cost energy card. So Clover must do something pretty decent if it's a 1 cost energy card. If it costs 1 energy and you get 1 Clover. I'm excited to see what Clover does or is. But yeah, okay. And then Rosa. Love. But I also want to say, just for 1 second, but yeah, I also want to say that I love the animation on these first 2, Rosa and Clover. I think it's awesome, especially Rosa. So Rosa is a 0 cost energy card. It does 5 damage, and an innate, apply 2 poison and sleep for 2 turns to a random enemy, and then banish. Seems like a pretty powerful or useful 0-cost energy card with a lot of something that I think a lot of Axie Infinity players will be able to take advantage of really well. Okay, now another 0-cost energy card, Hollow. Definitely a bit of a creepier artwork, this one. But this Axie loses 75 HP, summon a trunk. So it's a 0-cost energy card, so it's an interesting card. Summon a trunk. A trunk, I think, would be relatively powerful if you lose 75 HP. But depending on how strong a trunk is, Hollow could be pretty strong. Now, Sakura, this is actually another 2-cost energy card. And it's a power type of card. So you get to target any ally whenever you play a card this battle. Heal this Axie 10 HP. Wow, so that's actually pretty good. It's pretty strong. I think I'd like to use something like that. It might be harder for some people to take advantage of since it is a 2-cost energy card, but it definitely could be a really powerful card. Love the animation on Sakura too. Leafy, it's a 0-cost energy card again. 3 0-cost energy cards for the ear plant cards, but it's a 0-cost and does 10 damage. And it randomly deals 2 hits, so it does 20 damage in all, and consume up to 3 leaves to deal 5 damage per leaf consumed. Oh, okay. So that looks pretty cool. Definitely a card that could come in really handy. Yeah, with it able to do, yeah, pretty cool card. And then Lotus. This is a 1-cost energy card, and you get 50 shield and 30 healing. And that's pretty cool because most cards just have 1 or they just have a skill, but this card actually has 2, which is really cool. Definitely something to watch for that could be very powerful. Okay, so going out to the bug cards, there is Tassels. But yeah, I want to say one thing here. I do think that Rosa could be very strong. Sakura could also be very strong depending on how it's used. But yeah, Rosa and Sakura are definitely 2 to look out for. And then Tassels. So you do it's a 1-cost energy card. You heal 10 damage. You heal yourself for 10 damage, and you heal your team. Heal for 4 bonus HP card on your hand. Definitely a card that has bonus healing and scalability, which is good. But yeah, could be a pretty powerful card. A Larva. This is a 0-cost card, and you scry 2 cards. We do not know yet what scry is 100%, but you scry 2 cards, you gain 1 energy. You gain 1 energy if discard 1 skill card upon scrying. Okay. Interesting card. Now, here's Earwing. Attack all. So it's a 1-cost energy card. You do 20 damage, and you attack all enemies. Deal 3 bonus damage per card on your hand. Okay. Another card, just like Tassels, that has some more effects depending on how many cards you have in your hand. Then there's another one, Ear Breathing, and it's a 2-cost energy card. It does 30 damage, and you randomly deal up to 4 hits and shuffle 1 goo per enemy hit into your opponent's discard pile. Now that looks like a pretty strong card that I would not want to mess with. But yeah, like most 2-cost energy cards, it looks extremely powerful and definitely one to watch. Then Beetle Spike. It's a 1-cost energy card that's for 5 damage, and it deal pure damage, apply bleed for 4 turns. But yeah, good card. Maybe a good card to have on one Axie, and another Axie can have Nigh on, so it can do extra damage. But yeah, just thinking out loud there. And then Leaf Bug. I know one of my axes that I use a lot. It's my mech. It has Leaf Bug. But I'm really interested in to read this card because one of my axes has this card that I use a lot. One of my axes that I use like all the time has this card. So it's a 1-cost energy card. You get 45 shield, and whenever this is drawn, gain 30 shield. So definitely not a bad card. Yeah, could be interesting. Could be an interesting card to see. Now, I think Ear Breathing will be incredibly powerful. It will be an incredibly powerful card. And like I said, one that I do not want to have to face. Now, the last one, this is the last one, it's Bird, and then it's the first one is 0-cost energy card, Pink Cheek. It's a skill and banish card, and you discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many, and then you banish. Now, the next one costs 1 energy, it does 60 damage, and it's called Lil Owl. So all owl cards of this axe gain 6 damage this battle. Similar to Nutcracker, but yeah, interesting card. But love the I love the animation. Sorry, not the animation, the design of this little owl card. Love the wings, love the blue eyes, love it all. Peacemaker now. Interesting. A lot of birds, I think so many birds will have Peacemaker. Well, a lot of birds have all of these, but I feel like Peacemaker is one that a bunch of birds have. So, yeah. But Peacemaker costs 1 energy, it does 60 damage, and you apply weak for 2 turns. If target previously has weak, deal 15 more damage. Now, that sounds like it could be a pretty powerful card, especially if you have the typing advantage. But yeah, especially if you've been using this card if like birds are in the back of the lot, the back, like the base of your Axie team, and you just keep doing that, that can deal a lot of damage over time, which is great. Then Early Bird, one energy does 65 damage, 5 more damage than Peacemaker, but if it's the initial, you get to draw 1 card. Also a pretty good card. Now Curly, it costs 1 energy, 65 damage, and then you deal 25% more damage to shield. Okay, pretty nice. Useful card against shield. And then Risky Bird. Apply weak to this Axie for 2 turns, but you do 90 damage. Okay, not a bad card. These guys are kind of funny looking in this design. They're so focused on each other, so angry at each other. But I love the animation of Peacemaker and Lil Owl, but I think that Peacemaker can be a really powerful card. Yeah, that would be the one that I'd look out for, Peacemaker, because it seems really powerful to me. So we've gone through all of the ear cards. I'm excited to see the eye cards next. But yeah, the origin is coming closer and closer, so stay tuned if you want to watch streams about Axie or anything Axie at all. I'm also going to be doing this for the eye cards. But yeah, so thank you so much guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Ciao, ciao.